And there's your chat right there.
Oh, okay. So how do I know when someone's on?
Up at the top it says 0. There it says 0 viewers.
Uh-huh.
But you can go ahead and start because we'll turn this into a whole, like a whole clip afterwards.
Oh, okay.
So hello everyone. This is the first live show.
Okay.
We're just setting up. So
hello everybody.
Go for it.
Hello everybody. This is the first live show I've ever done. So if I look like a deer in the headlights, that's a very accurate recording on your end. My charming tech support came down last night and we set it up so I could do 2 cameras so I can talk to you and I don't have to keep going bloop, 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 bloop between the table and the thing. Down here is the wonderful oracle garden, not to be confused with the garden that's all around me, but it's an oracle garden and it is something that started really last February. I had a dream and I saw these words, and it said there's a way to, because I was always getting requests. Hi, I've got 4 viewers. I'm so excited. 5 viewers. I've got
6.
Oh, I got 6 viewers. Okay. I'm so excited, and I was just going into the explanation of welcome to the garden, because if nobody showed up, we could make it into an extended sort of little short mini show to put out for people. But you're here, Joey and Grayson. Hello from Texas. Well, hello, girl. I'm in Texas. And Susan Goodnow, and I've seen that name before in its complete thing. A lot of you people are like, better than sliced bread is like your name on that I get on things. So, and hi, I got another one. I hate those readers that go hi to everybody, but man, when you only got 4 of you, it's really easy to say hi. And I'm not picking out my favorites because I don't know what your names are. Anyway, if you know who I am, I'm Nancy Jean, and someone from Arizona. Great. I'm Nancy Jean. I am, I've been, if you don't know my backstory, I've been reading tarot since I was 12. I decided to go on YouTube after sort of the political storm of the last 4 years. I didn't do politics because I used to be a political consultant and I know too much about that world and I could confuse you very quickly if I got into it. So what happened was I started doing YouTube. I had some visions and some things to create and make to make people understand things. I was best known for building grids, and if you've never seen a grid, I have one right here. This is not really part of the show, but it is now. This is a grid. This particular grid was formed off a person who pulled a card called Transparency, and this is her grid. They're not all monochromatic, and they're, you know, if you've seen much of my work, if you go to my website, you can see a whole slideshow of all my grids. So they're various colors. The colors sometimes relate to chakras, sometimes they don't. Anyway, to get a grid, go to my website, because we're not talking about those grids today. We're talking about the garden. And I built grids and I worked with crystals, and people would say to me that would get one of my grids, they'd go, gee, I would love to be able to handle the crystals and know what you're doing. So if you go back in my Nancy Jean's Garden, you'll find a whole lot of shows about different types of stones and different ways to use them and colors and numbers and all that stuff. Well, in the middle of developing all my shows, I started in early December. I had a vision in February, and it was to take these words, and the words are on here. They're restate past, go for it, true, future, present, path forward, and false. And there had to be a way to work with the crystals in an environment and toss crystals and kind of use crystals to connect to your different thoughts. And out of that grew the garden. It's got the 7 chakras here, and then the because I'll tell you what the tree of life is here. The deal is, when I set this the scarf out for myself, I just lay it out, and this isn't always to the top, this isn't always to the bottom. I just kind of let it happen, let the universe lead me where I want to go. In the crystals that I've supplied for you to be able to read is body, mind, and spirit. And the body is fusite, and fusite is a mica stone. You can see it's kind of glittery. It's real pretty blue stone, but I picked it because it's also known as a fairy stone, and fairies, as among the elementals and among the energies on the earth, they are the most closely tied to being around human endeavors. Fairies like plants, they like animals. People who work with fairies like plants and animals, but they're very tied to where our body is on this earth, creation-wise. Mind is, of course, our mind, our mental state. It also can mean our energetic attitudes moving forward, the ones that we throw forward for ourselves. And then we have spirit, and my spirits, you will get a stone, not this stone, I mean, it'll be a little bit different, but it will be amethyst. And someone asked a question, can I build grids for couples? I can build grids for couples. I built grids recently. I built one for the wife, and then a husband saw it and said, I want my own. But I can build grids for families. And what you need to do is go to my www.crystaldirections.com, go into the store, and you can set up a thing there to buy a crystal grid. Then I will set up a Zoom appointment, and if it's for both of you, you both need to be there. If it's just one of you needs to be there. Okay, last two stones. Going to finish this part. This is pyrite, and this is the stone I put for grounding and for values when you cast the stones. And this is blue sodalite. And the cool thing about this stone is the more you handle it, the shinier it gets. And it's a deep blue, and it has to do with truth and communication. So I got the stones. Does anyone have a particular question you would like answered? And I'll explain to you while I'm looking for a question to come up. There's several ways you can read the stones. This is the other thing that I channeled when I was understanding how to make the garden work. One is what I call a crux, which is where you just push them around and you get one stone. So I ended up picking mind. So say, okay, how's this show going to go for me today? And this is a first, I can't read my own tarot. I can do my own pendulum, but that was always kind of a problem. I couldn't read my own tarot, but this thing seems to work, reading my own. So I'm going to just toss it blind, and it goes, okay, my mind is in the future and in the present. So I'm thinking ahead, but I'm also, the show's taking me from where I am right now into the future. Now, if I want to clarify that some more, I got, these are all, and this does not amaze me at all. It says that my spirit is in air, which is in mental forces, and I am much more, my spirit, my energy in my spirit does tend to be locked up more in my brain. This is my values are coming out of the past and going into the water, which is the future. Water is like west and its future. My body is grounded in things that are changing but moving forward, but they're coming out of the past. The fire element, and that's where my clarity is coming from. I'm speaking to you from what I know, from what I've developed, and from what comes from the past. And you're going, that's great. You've been doing this stuff forever. Actually, I've not been reading the garden forever. I thought of it in February. Alma designed it. I've had it since early April to really work with it. But when you get a grid, you get a whole sheet of instructions. And the first part of the instruction says, what we plant in the soil of contemplation, we shall reap in the harvest of action. And that's from Meister Eckhart, which means what we plant in the gardens, the ideas we see in the gardens, it gives us a place to contemplate them and think about them. I have a question. How do I phrase a question in a divination tool? Someone's asking about how is my financial situation going in the future? That's a situational question, so that's real easy for me to read. I have not found the Oracle Garden to be particularly successful for yes and no's, and I'll tell you why. Because one of the things I got very clearly about this tool is not all thoughts are true. By contemplating situations in the garden, it gives you a chance to renew your awareness and to decide what to plant and what to weed. So For the lady who wants to know about her financial situation, we're going to start with just a complete roll. We're going to throw them all out there. I find about 8 inches above is the best. Okay. Man, everything's happening for you in the future. Whatever you've got in your mind right now says go for it. And that's your mental power, and it's coming in the future. Your spirit straddles true, go for it, and water. That's just incredibly positive. It means everything you're bringing towards yourself in the future. You're going to a place, I think you've been in a place that's had not a lot of harmony. It's not been really tied to your values, and you want to go away from that. And what you've got coming up for your clarity is it's both in the tree of life, and that's your body, and your clarity is that you're moving forward. And when you get to this job, you know you need to make this financial change because your body's reacting to the negativity. There's something negative that's been happening around you. I can feel that in the stone. And it's going to be, your financial situation is really, really about to change. And it just depends. When you put your spirit and your mind together, nothing can stop you. And you say, okay, now you know what all those stones mean, and I don't. Well, you do get a handy-dandy little guide. And across here are the 5 stones, and then down here are the areas that they can land in. And we're going to take body and tree of life. And the body stone in the tree of life means seeks harmony through physical form. That's why I said when you've been in this disharmonious situation, it's been tearing you up. You have not been able to function as well as you should. And you are clear about this, that you need to make this change so that your body, mind, and spirit can all get in the same place. Okay, we've got somebody who's got a much more generalized question. I think, Joanne, I think things look great. Just get your head and your heart in the same space and you'll be fine. Okay. This is the stone that fell out. The next question I've got is, I'm confused. I don't know where to go next. Where would the garden say you should go next? And it says, moving forward, your clarity is going to come from the future. And you know what's true and right. The reason you're stuck is, and that's what we're going to look at now. Okay. You're stuck right now because you're living from the values. You're assuming values someone told you have to do it this way. This is how it's supposed to go. And you're living with values from the past. You need to move those values forward. That's where your clarity is going to come from. Your body lives where your thoughts are. So when you're depressed, your body's down. And that's really not true for some people. Some people, when they're depressed, they're kind of, you can't really tell. Baby, when you're down, you're down. When you're up, you're up. You're moving into a change in your spiritual life. This is body, mind, and spirit. Your spirit is in the future, but your brain is moving. It's moving out of the past and into the future. So you want to know why you're locked in this situation? Let go of whatever your family told you you're supposed to be. Let go and look at it. I mean, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Some of what they told you got you to this point, but some of it says that you need to move on to what you need to contemplate or meditate on. And I don't know if most people know this, but the term meditation doesn't mean going om in the corner. The term meditation truly means to become familiar with. So if you become familiar with what values you've carried from the past and what you want to bring into your new life, what your new spirit wants to bring in, and bring it in with clarity, it's really funny because when you will know when you get the right thought. When you're meditating, you'll say, that's what it is. Because the first tenet in my garden is not all thoughts are true. We have a lot of thoughts lined up in us that are not true. And someone asked me about asking what kind of phrase questions for this tool. This tool does situations. And the reason I went to using situations, I was basically kind of told to do that, but as a tarot reader, I found that when people asked yes/no questions, that meant they'd already limited their possibilities. I might not have been able to tell the lovely lady from Missouri that her family was locked up in her past if she just said, is my situation going to change? I wouldn't have a clue as to what needs to change. So you need to look at things holistically. And that's the best way to move forward. And how to move with these things. The other ways to read, there's the crux where you pull one stone and then roll other ones to clarify. There's the just tossing all of them and see what pattern you get with your question or with your statement or your situation. The third way to read is one and done, and that means you consciously pull the stone and say, okay, I think my head's in the wrong place. Where does my head need to go? And okay, your head is your path forward. Your mental abilities would be your path forward, and it's sitting here. It actually fell into the throat chakra, and on this it says for those of you who know the chakras: root, sacral, solar plexus, heart, throat. Throat is truth. Third eye is insight. Crown chakra is enlightenment. Tree of life is harmonization. So this fell into the path forward for your mind is to speak your own truth. That's what's been locking up. Okay, Susan wants to know, I'm stuck in a career. How will the future unfold? Now that's a great situation question. So I'm going to start with a crux stone. So I'm starting with spiritual values for you. That shouldn't freak you out. That's because I have this on kind of a crappy cardboard board because I'm fixing my desk up to show the shit. We're going to throw your spirit again. Okay, your spirit, when your spirit aligns with your thoughts, that's when the future is going to unfold in your career. Now let's see, how do we get the spirit and the soul together? Okay, your bodies. Have you been like dieting and making some changes in your physical structure? Because that shows that your body's moving out of a paradigm it's been in. You also have values that come out of the past that they function for you because your mind and your clarification are in water, and when the mind and I will go back to the cheat sheets so I can show you what you're going to have to do. And once you get used to using these, it gets really easy. That says you need to let go of all limitations. And the clarification in water means you have the clarity you need. Follow one of the paths that you have. You have two situations you can follow. Pick the one that gives you the most resolve. And looking at this, I would say it's the one you're least physically tied to. Yeah, physical changes are coming. That's why I said, are you on a diet plan or something? As you either shed pounds or reform your body the way you want it to be, you're letting down a lot of defenses and you're letting a lot of new things in. So I think that looks good to you. Looks good for you. Does anyone else have a question a one and done question? Just we'll throw one thing and that's the end of that for you. The other way you can use the crystals is if you have a stone you really like that's your own, I just tell you to you, and roll that one in here, and you know how you relate to that stone. Feel it, hold it, see what it says to you, throw it in, and relate it to the space it happens to. Or pick one of these stones and just toss it in. True, spirit speaking right now. Spirit saying, follow your own spirit, follow your own heart. You do you. I've created this. I created it because I was channeled it from when I first started doing it. I called Alma and said, is there some way we can work these words into some kind of pattern? And I said, I don't want it to look like a Ouija board. The lady who I read says, thank you so much. You're absolutely right. My focus has become more closed in than what I need to really look at, partially due to letting others define limitations. Yeah, that comes out of being kind of locked into an old mindset. Okay, someone wants to know how her retirement's going to go in the next 6 months. And I had asked for a one and done. So we're going to put values. Because I tell you, when you retire, and honest to God, guys, I've tried to retire 3 times. I haven't made it yet. But when you retire, you have a lot of different options going for you. So we're talking about, we're going to throw the Pyrite, which is the value stone. Oh, if you, BC Mom, if you are looking in the next 6 months, if you planned a certain path forward, go with it. Your values are totally respected in that path, and it's going to lead you to the next thing because that's where your values are. The path forward that you're on right now is perfectly great for you, and we're going to leave that. We're going to try throwing the other 4 stones and stuff. Oh, okay. You've got clarity. You've got go for it. You've got your spirits true to it, and I think, BC Mom, you've been shedding a lot of stuff, letting a lot of stuff go, because this is moving to the future. If you think about the earth as things coming in that are going away, these are the direction you're moving towards. The west, and that's water and its emotions and what supports us. You've got everything in the forward, go forward thing. Okay, and someone wants to know about a 9-year-old. Oh, okay. Got 2 things. I'm going to do someone who wants to know about the 9-year-old grandson's future. We're going to say, what is the situation in the future for your 9-year-old? And he's probably going to have a lot of choices. Or he or she. I don't know. It's grandson. Okay, I know what it is. Oh, okay. Oh, everything for him's in the future. This is air. This is moving north. This kid's really smart. But boy, he's physically kind of, I mean, he doesn't, I have a son who's extremely smart, but we cut his meat till he was 12. You got that kind of grandson. He wears his heart in his sleeve, and he really, really can get hurt by other people. So people need to be very wary of what they say around him. He's very clear about what he wants to do in the present, but his values are in the tree of life and harmonizing. So this young man is a warm, loving child who has a great future ahead of him. And I'm not just saying that. If it came out restate, I'd say, let's think this through again. He's really, really smart. His body needs to catch up with his brain. That's his biggest problem. He's probably not incredibly clever at sports, but I don't know. He might be able to get past that. Someone wants to know why she can't visualize. Okay. We're going to start with the spirit stone. And guess where your spirit is? It is in your third eye, and it is not blind. You just don't want to see. It's telling me that being the spirit stone being in the third eye, actually this is, if you had the kit, this is what you'd be reading. Spirit helps your vision to see around the corner. You need to open up. It's been telling you, you just don't, well, no, I can't know that. You discount your own ability to spiritualize. We're going to look at the rest of them, okay? You don't trust your own emotions. You don't trust clarity from it. Your value system is that you should go for it. You should go towards doing some meditation. I don't know if you know, there's a guy named Joe Dispenza, and he talks about how we're in a quantum world now. We used to be in a Newtonian world where everything was yes or no, up and down, that sort of stuff. We're in a quantum world now where we have to think it first and believe it there, and then it passes in and it becomes the particle. It goes from being a wave to being a particle. My second husband was a sweet man. He was a physicist, but he was still a sweet man. And he kept telling me that what you do is in quantum physics, and I think he was right. Your mind is really tied to the earth, and the earth is pentacles. So you have to be able to hold it, touch it, feel it. So your mind says, if I can't hold it and touch it and feel it, it doesn't exist. You need to get past that and see, you've planted that in the garden. Do you not want it there? Good, then put it in there where you can do it somewhere differently. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, your grandson's going to be okay. I don't know what games they're playing, lady, but you're going to be fine, and he will be fine. and he will find you later in life. That's the feeling I have. The stones are not telling me that. That's just me. A Suzanne, whose last name I recognize. Okay. Let's see. What's going to happen around her? Let's see some patterns for her to look for in the next 6 months, Suzanne. I'm giving you 6 months here, girl. And you're all blocked up. And that one goes there. Clarity goes to water. You've been way overreaching. I think you're tiring yourself out. Your crown, your future, your values, and using your crown chakra, using your energy that you bring in through the crown chakra, that's where your values come from. Right now, your brain is in the present, but your spirit's moving towards the future. A lot of, I know I've talked to you for a bit, Suzanne, but I think somehow or another, your body and your mind are out of sync. And that's stopping you from doing some of the things you want to do. But your future basically looks bright because you've got spirit in the future. You can't do better than to have your values coming through the enlightenment of your crown chakra. And your mind, one of the things is right now you're having trouble seeing the future because you're in some sort of a hamster wheel of thought. So you need to sit down, get quiet, and tell your brain to shut up long enough so you can hear from your crown chakra. Okay. What we're going to look at for the person who must be from Hawaii because they're saying aloha. They want to know if they're going to meet the right man this year. Now, the situation is really your relationships. So we're going to start with that. We're going to start with you, and we're going to pull the clarity for you.
Do you want me to put the link to the garden?
Yeah.
What are the dimensions to be?
Okay. I'm going to put a link for where you can get the garden. We are manufacturing these as we speak. We will have them out in 3 to 4 weeks just because we have to get all the pieces together, and I'll explain all the pieces when we're finished. But we're going to go back to this woman and the situation being her heart. So okay. You need to get more harmony in your life. You need to be more in touch with yourself before you can pull Mr. Wonderful in. Let's see what other things I can see about your relationships for you. Okay. This you're not going to like this one. It says you need to restate your values. Your values should not be looking for the right man. Your values should be for finding the best space for you. And if you have a wonderful space, the right person will walk into it. You have a mental impression about being with someone from your past. Your spirit and your thoughts are really in tune with growing spiritually. And I think what this is telling me is the spiritual path is best for you. I think you've also been resolving some body issues that you're working with, and that's going to work out well for you. So what it says is your clarity is when you are harmonized, when you've harmonized your body, mind, and spirit, and you need to restate your values. Your values need to be including the fact that you're building a wonderful space for you, and a wonderful person will walk into it. But you don't build that wonderful space for him. You build that wonderful space for you. Okay, and I've got one. Should I pursue? Okay. Somebody wants to know if she should, her situation is, we're going to look at what your career situation should be. She has an opportunity to go back into hospitality. She's been learning tarot and channeling and doing all this wonderful stuff, which, by the way, is one of the reasons why the world stopped. I've been doing this since I was 12, but for the rest of you that are showing up now, I'm so glad to have you here because it makes what I do so much easier. So we're going to see what's the situation around her career. Oh, okay, whatever your mind believes is true is what you can make happen, but everything's happening in the future. Your values are sitting between the third eye, which is insight, and the truth. I think you can make a living working in channeling and tarot. And it just depends on what you want to do. Now, you may want to go in and do the other career just to kind of, keep a paycheck coming in. But I wouldn't abandon, I would figure out a way to make both of them work. Oh, and tech support's standing by, and he just texted me. So if you're wondering about tech support, I'm standing, and he's going to help us where he can, which is really cool. Because trust me, I wouldn't have this. I had to steal a camera from him to get this lovely setup today. In closing, for the lady who's deciding between you could not get a better lay than to be between the future and the crown, and with the amethyst. And I'm going to tell you what it's saying. It says, all your gifts are not yet recognized. That's what it's saying when it's landed in the future. But the crown chakra says that spirit harmonizes all of your efforts. And what did I tell you? When you get your stuff harmonized and get yourself together, it's all going to work out. Good. You've been studying for 10 years. Very good. Does anybody else? Let's see. Oh, someone's going on a trip. Let's see what's going to happen on their trip. You're going to have a great time. You're going to really relax on this trip. You're going to have a great time. That's in the Tree of Life, which is harmony. And the third eye, throat, and it's going to boost your self-expression and your self-esteem. Some part of this trip's going to open up a part of yourself that you haven't seen before. You've also got clarity in air. Keep your thoughts clear when you're there. Keep yourself open so you can catch all of the things. Your spirit is moving right now, and this is going to be a trip that's going to clarify. You're going from the past into the future. And let's see if this one reads the way I think it's going to read. Fire. Okay, you probably went on a trip, something like this before, and that's where you have some apprehension about it. Let go of those old apprehensions because they're not true. They're in the past. Okay. Oops. Flying without a broom wants to know, and I dropped the stone. This is me. I drop stones a lot. She wants to know how she can escape the brokenness of her body. Flying without a broom, if you will email me at crystaldirections.nancyjean@gmail.com. I have 2 distance healers that are working with people right now, and they're doing it for free, and they're looking for people to work on. Okay, but we're going to see if she's going to be able to escape the prison of a broken body. Your mind is definitely in the future, and you're pretty clear in the present about what's going forward. But your body is getting your body in better shape, or getting it past some of the limitations it has right now, is the key to the future. Your spirituality is leading you that way anyway. But you have a new chance, a new grounding, a new way to start in the future. So it looks good flying without a broom. I don't know that you'll ever be completely freed, but I would say for the most part this shows healing is possible because you've got mind and spirit and clarity in the future. So you're going to find some new ways to deal with this. A person with a transportation problem. Okay. Let's see what's going on around your transportation problem and what the future of it is. Oh, okay, you're really in the world. You've got it completely spread between the 4 elements. It's a real money problem, and it's a real physical problem for you to not have that car. Okay. This is thought work you're going to have to do. You need to move clarity out of there and into air. You need to get clarity. Someone told you you can't have nice things, and right now you're embodying that. And I think, but you have the spirit to be able to get yourself out of this and the brain power. So I think I'm going to do a one and done on it being resolved in a manner that you can live with. May not be the time frame you want, but we're going to do it with values. Yes, it's in the future. You're going to find the money and find the way to get that all fixed before August. So it's there, but you're going to have to put some mental work in it. And part of it is you're going to have to unblock the energy blocks you have built inside yourself. Let's see. Where's my future heading? Okay, the situation around Vicky's future. Well, you've got a clear picture of where you want to go. Your spirit's tied in the past. I think you have a past life connection to someone right now, and moving to a new future would mean having to let them go. But your body's almost there and your brain's almost there. So I think this has to do with earning power and money. I think you've been tied to someone who has held you back because and you're working out some past life stuff with them. But I'm going to be doing a few more shows on past life and how to work with past life energy. I know that for those of you who haven't seen all my things, I've lost over 100 pounds in the last 2 years, and I was morbidly obese. I was over 300 pounds, and I couldn't lose the weight until I let the energy go. What I came to terms with in my mind when I meditated and thought about it was I had built a fortress of fat, so that if people got past that fat and got to the person beyond the fat, then I would let them in. And that wasn't fair. It wasn't fair to them. It was presuming that they were judging me that way. And that was unfair of me because they weren't. It was my problem. It was my fortress that I had built. And as soon as I came to terms with that fortress, then right after I came to terms with that, someone... tech support. Someone wants to know if the way to get to my game is on my website.
Working on it.
Okay. Anyway, the bottom line was as soon as I found keto, and I very quietly slid into doing keto, and I had lost over 50 pounds before we went into lockdown, and I lost the last 50 I've lost has been when we were in lockdown. So when people say I can't stop eating because of COVID, trust me, I never left my house, and I managed to maintain and control my eating and found a whole brand new adventure and a lot of new people. And then when I got skinny enough that I could stand to look at my face on a screen, I went to YouTube. Okay, why do I have... Okay. Oh, okay. This is not going to come from this is back pain. If you've never seen this book, it's incredible. The top 50 messages your body's sending you. And I found out about it through Cash Peters. Where does everyone find all the wonderful things they need to know about? But I found it to be incredibly accurate. So, you've got back pain where intermittent pain through lower legs. Okay. Fine problems. Oh. Pain. Sharp pain.
I think they can hear me. Yeah, how you feeling?
I'm fine.
Cool. Need water or anything?
Yeah, I do see this one. Okay. It's stabbing pain, aching pain. 77. I'm going to read you, and this is really quick, and it might give you an idea.
Before you do that, the kit comes with the cornerstones too, right?
Yeah, the kit comes with the cornerstones. Everything you see on this table is what you get. You get the satin scarf. You get the 4 cornerstones. And by the way, I forgot about them. That's earth, wind, air, and fire. Those are those 4 stones. They help lock the energy in the grid. That was something that the guides channeled for me. I was like, do we really need? No. Okay. Aching pain, it's heart smarts. There's been a deprivation or a deep need to desire for something is not being fulfilled. This aching can be imperative, and it requires a change of fulfillment. We have an intense longing for love, and the way to get past it is to start to do positive feedback for yourself. I do. Okay. My husband was my husband in many of my past lives. I'm not going to roll the stones to tell you that. In my belief structure, there's a thing called the red thread that's part of Chinese stories and Chinese understanding, and it's that we all have a red thread, and if we follow that red thread, it'll take us back to all the people we're supposed to be connected with. A lot of people in metaphysics call it a pod. I don't think anybody marries someone for long term unless they've been around with them before, and that even means the ones that we divorced and were not particularly fond of at the end. Okay, how many stones are in the kits? There's the 5 stones: body, mind, spirit, clarity, and values. And then there's earth, wind, air, and fire that are to hold the edges of the scarf down. Yes, if you want to use this with stones you already have, you can do that. Okay, the person with the car problem says, yeah, they heard they can't have nice things. I'm going to send you to another YouTube site, which may seem a little counterproductive, but there's a therapist named Marissa Peer, Marisa, and I'll Peer, Peer. She's a Brit. She does some wonderful, wonderful work on getting rid of negative thoughts about the messages that you should not value. So if you go her things are about 20 minutes long. They're really fun. I listen to them in the car all the time. They're not meditations. They don't put you to sleep. And she just has some really good practical knowledge. I did what she said to do, but I didn't have her telling me. And someone retracted their message. I can't read retracted messages, I promise you. I'm good, but I'm not that good. Yes, I love Cash Peters too, and I really do love this body desk reference because I have a couple friends who will call me up with their aches and pains, and I'm like, yeah. Okay, before we move on, this is how your game comes. It'll come in another tube, but it comes with this tube. You take the top off. You have a bag that's your guidance stones. You have a bag that's your cornerstones. And then deep down in the bottom of the thing is your garden. And the gardens are all fluorite colors because my designer knew I liked fluorite colors, and that's how it happened. The bags you it comes with, they're going to be slightly different. They're going to be a darker blue and a purple. But when we were doing our prototypes to see how to package this and how to get an idea of what we're going to have to do, okay. When we were packing everything up, we had to practice on something. So these are I only made 20 of these, and most of them have already gone out to readers. I do have a drawing, and I will let you guys in on it today. If you go to my email, crystaldirections.nancyjean@gmail.com, you can sign up and just say, I want to be put in the drawing. I'm going to do the drawing tomorrow afternoon, and I'm giving away free to someone one of the gardens. And I made the same offer on Lilac Lantern on Thursday. So I have a bunch of names, but what I do to pull a name is I put y'all on a spreadsheet, and then I call up my grandchildren, and I tell them each to give me a number between 1 and whatever the end is, and then we scramble them around, and then I pick the median number. That's my random number machine. That's using my grandchildren as a random number machine. Okay. Vivian, the problem with that one is that's sort of a yes-no. She's asking if a project at her company will be implemented. What I'm going to do is see the direction of that project. Okay. The value's working out right. Yeah, the future for it's in the air. You're frustrated because someone's had some negative thinking about it. and it's been really hard to figure out exactly which direction they're heading in, but it shows that the body of this work is going to be done in the future, that the spiritual value or the value of the guidance is going to come in, and it's go for it. So I think it's going to be successful. I think it will be implemented. Oh, okay, I've got a couple people say already you're in the drawing. Fine. Yes, somebody's saying that there's a lot of different ways we sense. People sense all sorts of ways. One of the things I wanted to do by creating, one of the messages I got about creating the garden is we're going into a new paradigm about people learning how to see for themselves. And I tried to make this, well, I didn't make it. I literally one Saturday I said, okay, I was guided to which stones to pick. I had the garden in front of me. I had it laid out in front of me when I typed it, and I typed out this grid that says, like, path forward, which each stone means when it lands in there. This is just a cheat sheet to start. These are keywords to get you going. If it feels like those words don't work, I have tarot cards. I don't read like anybody else's because I saw the cards the first time when I was 12, so they meant different things to me. As you age, as you change, as you grow, as you're with other people, you'll find out other cards mean other things. I've got time for another 5 minutes to... Oh, yeah, I don't have any monitors on this. My monitor is shamanic insane.
Yeah, can you click on the little say something thing over on the side of?
Sure.
Because I want.
Okay, sign into chat.
Yeah, it should work.
That worked. Okay.
Oh, never mind. It won't work.
Okay.
I've been trying to put the link out, and it should be there. But
Okay. We'll put it underneath in the if you go to YouTube later. Where this is the first time I've ever done a live, and so far I haven't gone off the screen, so I consider that a win. What link do they want?
They want the link to the actual kit itself.
Okay, well, we will put it below. It's in the chat. He says, I don't know. I have no one monitoring, so if there's a troll out there, there's a troll out there. And I realize that my tech support's name looks like a troll name, but it's because he's a gamer. And that's when he picked when we were 13 or 14 when he came up with that name. Anyway, it's you can get to it through my website, which is www.crystaldirections, put an S on it, .com. If you don't put crystal directions with an S, you go to some geologic website, which will not help you. Oh, what comes? The cheat sheet comes with the kit. What happened was someone told me I needed to handwrite all my instructions. And so I was trying to handwrite them out, and eventually my graphics person took my handwriting, turned it into a font, so she typed this. But it's my handwriting. When you see it, it doesn't look like a font anyone would have created for wonderful creative reasons. And I'm going to close like right now in a minute. Someone loves your name, Patrick.
I know.
Okay, I'm going to close with, there's two statements on this sheet, and they're here. And it says, when the soul wants to experience something, she throws out that image in front of her and walks into it. And I think that's what you can kind of do with the garden too. If you say, I want to see the path forward, throw it out, see where it says where your vision is going right now. If you don't like what it says, that's what you weed. That's what you need to change. That's what you need to look at. And the closing statement in the garden, the back sheet of this is every stone that's here, why it's here, and all the cornerstones. And on that sheet it says, welcome to the path of enlightenment. By merging your spirit with the crystals and your personal journey with the garden, it will begin. And I really want to thank all of you for coming here. Yay! I'm going to do this again tomorrow in the afternoon. So if you have a friend who says, gee, I would have liked to have known about that, I'm going up at 1 o'clock tomorrow, 1 o'clock Central Daylight Time. And because tech support also has tomorrow off, so I don't have to go blind. And we will run this again. I will go over some of the things. I'm going to go over a little more slowly in the details of the design of this and kind of what it means and how things land. And I just thank you for coming and making this such a successful.
When you're done, hit that
Okay.
button.
Thank you. I was about to cut you all off in mid-sentence. Thank you, Suzanne. Anyway, I look forward to speaking with you. I'm going to be working, some other readers have already gotten theirs, and they're trying to figure it out because I didn't think it was very fair to not have them experience what it's like to touch this. It's very different when you touch it. I saw it in my mind's eye. I knew what it's going to look like. But boy, when I handled it, it became a completely different thing. And so please help me share my vision. Help me make this divination tool grow. We can't find anything like it anywhere else. Because believe me, I looked because I didn't want to get in trouble with anybody. And I don't think I have. And I think I'm going to enjoy sharing this with you. Also go look on my site for grids and crystal compasses. And thank you so much for being